Kog'Maw is an incredible late-game threat when played correctly. Especially in the right team composition, he can just run away with the game, and in this Kog'Maw guide you get everything you need to know in less than 5 minutes. Kog'Maw is a true late-game powerhouse when his teammates can make up for his innate weaknesses. You are immobile and completely lack defensive options, which makes you an easy target for enemy assassins. However, when paired with enchanter supports who can protect you, Kog'Maw becomes unstoppable. Janna, Renata, and of course Lulu are great partners for this exact reason, and in an ideal world, you never ever trigger Kog'Maw's passive. This is probably one of the worst abilities in the game, since Kog'Maw needs to stay far in the backline and auto-attack as much as possible from max range to be most effective. His passive is more like a consolation prize for when you've seriously messed up and mispositioned hard enough to die before you could kill your opponents. Kog'Maw's Q, on the other hand, is actually quite useful, as it passively supports your playstyle with bonus attack speed. The active resistance shred and damage is also really nice when you initiate trades during the lane phase, providing huge pressure in 2 vs 2 situations. The most essential spell for Kog'Maw, however, is your W. You always have to play around your W's uptime, as you want to be aggressive when it is active and disengage when it is on cooldown. Without it, Kog'Maw has an abysmal attack range of 500, but when W is active, Kog'Maw is one of the longest range, highest damage champions in the game. Prematurely pressing W only for the teamfight to truly start once the effect wears off can be game-losing. Kog'Maw's E-spell is a solid utility tool and you should definitely use it during all-ins, but your other spells are just way more important, which means your E will merely be a weak 20% slow for most of the game. It is nice to have, but its overall impact will be low and you cannot rely on it too much. Kog'Maw's ultimate is a super long-ranged skill shot that deals execute damage, and it is just perfect for you when your W is currently on cooldown. With your ultimate, you can still contribute to a fight from a safe distance while you wait for your W to become available again. Also, you can use your ultimate's poke damage to harass your opponents when neither team is ready to fully commit to an all-in. You can essentially use it to provoke a reaction from your opponents, and once they fully engage, do you finally press your W and start auto-attacking. Most of your damage will in fact come from your W-empowered auto-attacks, so your rune page is Lethal Tempo, Presence of Mind, Legend Alacrity, and Coup de Grace, with Taste of Blood and Treasure Hunter secondary. It is very easy to stack your Lethal Tempo with W's bonus range, and at max stacks you get Lethal Tempo's bonus range as well. This allows you to potentially even keep auto-attacking when W's duration ends. Yes, you will deal less damage now, but Lethal Tempo's bonus range enables you to both attack your target and still keep a somewhat safe distance. Subscribe. The attack speed you get from your Keystone and from Legend Alacrity is also highly impactful, since it lets you get the most out of your W's fixed duration. Presence of Mind primarily allows you to use your ultimate more consistently, but if you are comfortable managing your mana without it, Triumph can be chosen instead. Taste of Blood makes your lane phase easier, so you get to your strong late game state more reliably, and Treasure Hunter is super strong on AD carries as it gives you earlier access to your items. It is very much comparable to the Rune Magical Footwear, only that it is less consistent, but in exchange still gives you the option to buy boots early. The first item you buy is Immortal Shield Bow. Its lifesteal and effective health greatly improve your durability and staying power, but you are still fairly vulnerable. Yes, diving into the backline is now riskier for the enemy, but nonetheless you will have to use your range to your advantage if you don't want to get killed. Next you buy Ginzo's Rageblade. Again, the more attack speed you have, the better you can use your W's 8 seconds duration, and Rageblade naturally also amplifies your W's bonus on hit damage. With your third item, Wit's End, you will get even more value from Rageblade's on hit amplification, while further enhancing your attack speed and kiting potential. Keep in mind that you can also buy Wit's End for your second or fourth item, depending on how badly you need its magic resist in any given matchup. With your next item, Runan's Hurricane, you become a true team-fighting monster. All your other items primarily increased your dueling power, but Hurricane now allows you to fully apply all your on-hit damage to 3 targets at once. At this point, you can destroy any opponent in your path when you smartly play around your W cooldown, and even hyper tanks like Cho'Gath or Scion cannot survive against your W's max health on hit damage when you have all that attack speed. The only potential problem for you at this point is a fed AD assassin like Zed or Rengar, which is why your last item can be purely defensive. Randuin's Omen might look odd on a marksman, but at this stage of the game, its protection against burst damage just perfectly rounds out your build. If you want to see what the best performing Kog'Maw players are doing in the current meta, just click the link on your screen right there.